Alright, ladies and gentlemen, it is Austish, and we are back, and as you can obviously see, this is Legend of Zelda, Ocarina of Time. I don't care if you're mad how I pronounce it. I think that's how it's pronounced. Anyways, yeah, I'm gonna be doing an Ocarina of Time playthrough. Don't get me started on Majora's Mask, alright? I know I was playing that a long time ago. Probably like 3 or 4 years ago. But, I got the 3DS remake. I played that. It's a bit different cosmetically and gameplay-wise. It's still pretty cool, but... Majora's Mask... Yeah, as you can see, I just... wanted to see everything was going okay, so I'm gonna erase that file. Of course, in the fashion that I always played as, I put my name Austin, but actually no. We're gonna mess around. I'll call him Dipfuck or something. I don't care. I wonder if I can spell that. I know they don't give you a lot of space in this. Nice. Okay. I'm emulating this, obviously, so yes, there will be some FPS drops. There might be some weird graphics and stuff, I get that, but anyways, the Majora's Mask thing, I cannot find a ROM to emulate it with. Like, I used to have this disc a long time ago, and that's where I first played Majora's Mask. I never had a Majora's Mask copy on the Nintendo 64. Never had a cartridge. Ocarina of Time, I had a cartridge. I played it on Nintendo 64 a lot as a kid. But in this emulation bullshit, I can't find it because Nintendo copyrighted the damn thing. And like ever since the 3DS came out with the remake, I can't find the fucking ROM for Majora's Mask. I had a hard enough time trying to find this. But what I did find was my exact, like, version that I had, which was, I think it's called 1.0? Version 1.0, yeah. Damn, that is some major FPS drops right there. I'm gonna apologize for that. There's gonna be a few of those in this. Wow. That is really bad. Holy shit. Yeah, there we go. Ooh, I wasn't sure if we were gonna get through that cutscene. That was on 1 FPS, my dudes. Sorry about that. There's gonna be a few of that, obviously. Especially me playing on this old computer now. But yeah, anyways, I found the original like version that the cartridge that I had was 1.0, and this one is 1.0. And there's actually a few changes in 1.0 compared to, I think it's 1.2. Oh god, here we go. This shit. So I'm just gonna talk here, let you guys on some information you might not have known. Which, if you don't know by now, it's kind of strange. This game has been out since like '98, so. There's 2 separate versions. I know for one thing, I didn't even know these really were. I didn't know they changed this stuff until just recently, but in the copy I had, there's actually a lot of controversial topics and gameplay things that they had in here that they took out in the newer copies, and that's I know one of them's a fire temple, and it's actually a really controversial topic in that because it's got like Muslim chants and shit, and I actually didn't really notice the change until I started playing on the 3DS copies or like other people's copies. But bear with me on these fucking FPS drops. They're obviously not my favorite either. I really hate that it has to do this, but you know, you just get through it. You just gotta deal with it. Anyways, this Muslim chant, I feel like in the Fire Temple actually made it that much more better. I really like the sound effects in it, because it's kind of like, it gives it this little creepy factor in it. But they also changed the mirror shield, because apparently there's a design on the mirror shield that resembled some Muslim stuff, and I guess like Nintendo's got this, they have this strict policy for religion, and they don't like it in their games. But I personally grew up with this version, and I really like this version. That's not the only change either. There's a few other changes, I just don't remember what they are. I just know that I wanted to keep these changes in my playthrough. But when I was playing the 3DS, since I remember this game so much, I think I played the 3DS version of this Ocarina of Time 2 or 3 years ago maybe. And I remember playing in the Fire Temple, and I was like, oh yeah, I can't wait to play Fire Temple, because I remember it had some like really weird chants and shit in it. And when I'm playing the 3DS version, they obviously replaced it. And I'm like, what the hell is going on? Oh my god, I really hate lag, dude. I hate it so fucking much. I'm gonna skip this ladder. I'm just gonna pause it, maybe. No, never mind, I won't pause it. I'm just gonna talk here for a second. But yeah, there is, in the 3DS version, those chants are changed, and it's more of like a hum, or like a moan. It's like a weird, I don't know what to call it. It's like it's just changed, and it sounds a lot different. And I noticed that in the 3DS playthrough, because I was like, is this really how it sounded? Because I don't remember it sounding like this mundane. I was like, I thought it was more different. And then obviously I found out later on in a few YouTube videos that it really was changed, and that there was a lot of changes in the recent cartridges. And then they moved these changes to the GameCube, and then they took the GameCube and they put it in the Wii, I think it was. I think the Wii had a remake for this, and then obviously the 3DS got the same changes as well. So basically, I'm playing the rare, like, older version, and that was the same type of cartridge I had, which had all these controversial topics in it. And I obviously, me growing up with it, I fucking liked the way this was, because, like, it's just, a lot of these things are a little bit more creepier, so they sound cooler, and I enjoy it way more than, like, the Fire Temple. I know when we get to it, you'll see the changes and stuff. Because I know some people didn't even notice these changes, because a lot of people actually grew up with the other versions, and they don't even notice that some of these things were in the game that were taken out. There's a lot of different things, and it was hard enough finding the other versions, but this one, I mean, it took me a few minutes to find this one. I'm glad I took the time to find this, because I don't know, I just like the way older games portray themselves compared to like their updated versions, if there are updated versions. Yeah, just like the old versions of the games. So yeah, I went with this version. These FPS drops are gonna be the fucking death of me. Like, honestly, I hate these FPS drops. So, but like I said, you kind of just gotta deal with it. But anyways, I'm playing Ocarina of Time because I don't really have, I mean, I got a few other games that I could be uploading, and I'm working on those. And I have quite a few videos that I haven't uploaded from like years ago, and I might get to them, but some of them are like montages, and I don't really want to get copyright strikes, but at this point in my YouTube career, I kind of don't care anymore. But, yeah, see, these are some of the things in the emulation that you'll get, like, obviously, where's the links? Right there, in that black square should be standing Link, but he's not there, so, whatever, emulation's out there. Yeah, I kinda just gotta deal with it. That rock got me. Yeah, I don't know. This game brings back a shit ton of memories, dude. Especially this version of the game. And I just want to come back and play it. Because it's been a long time since I played this version. But what's cool is... Oh, come on here. I'm sorry, these leg spikes, they just distract the hell out of me when I'm trying to talk. But, what was I saying? Yeah, this game, I definitely have a shit ton of memories. I probably, a lot of games on the Nintendo 64 I have memories with, because for the longest time, I only had a Nintendo 64 and, like, Nintendo games. So, like, the original Nintendo, the Super Nintendo, Nintendo 64, and then the GameCube. And eventually the Wii. I had those for about 11 years of my life. So I obviously had to play a lot of games over and over again. And I don't even care, because they were really great games. But as a kid, I probably played this game. I played it so many times, dude. I probably beat this game at least 64 times. Maybe that's just an assumption. I just know I played this game a lot as a kid. I used to know where everything was, all the glitches and everything. Same with Majora's Mask, same with the Mario 64, and even Conker's Bad Fur Day. But I don't think I had like same thing with shit. I don't have enough money. I think there's a rupee back here. Is there? Thought there was. Maybe not. But yeah, actually, as a kid, I had an emulator, Project 64, which is just the same emulator I'm running this on right now, except this one's more updated. And, but yeah, there's a lot of games that I played that I didn't have on the Nintendo 64, like Majora's Mask. I never had that for the Nintendo 64. Conker's Bad Fur Day was a game I never had for the 64. There's also Star Fox, some alien game that I remember where you had to kill people and aliens. It was a weird game, but I liked playing it. Castlevania. I don't know if I had Castlevania for the 64. I know I had it for an emulator. But anyways, back to the thing I was saying. My dad actually got all these discs from one of his buddies that he used to work with, and it was basically, it had the emulator, it had all the ROMs for every type of system out at the time. So Game Boy Advance, Game Boy, all these game systems. A lot of them I didn't have. Genesis. I did have the Genesis though. Basically had all the old games you could imagine. And it was all on these discs, so that's where I would play emulators. And I actually liked the emulators because, as a kid, flying around with cheats was the fucking shit. Oh, I forgot to equip my shield. yeah, in these emulators you can have cheats, obviously. They have Game Shark codes, I think that's what they're called. And a lot of them really exploit the game. Like flying around, getting all the equipment before you start the game, warping to different areas. Some of them have like beta worlds, so you can see where the developers like tested out their games and stuff. And as a kid, that was the neatest thing. So I really like playing Majora's Mask and fucking around with that. After I beat the game, obviously, but there's also a few problems with emulators, and as a kid I didn't know how to deal with those problems, and even now I still don't know how to solve some of these problems, but I really kind of wish that I could record this on the Nintendo 64 just to get that like authentic feeling, but I don't really know how to record on 64. And on top of that, I can't even find my 64. I don't know where it went. I can find all the games for it, but the Nintendo 64 was moved around in my room, so it's somewhere in my house. I just don't know where. Same with the Dreamcast. I got the Dreamcast, but that's the opposite. I don't know where the cords are for it. I know where the Dreamcast is. I don't know where the cords are for it though. Dreamcast was a pretty cool game too, or like a game system, because it had Sonic Adventure 2, Sonic Adventure. I remember those games. I played a lot of those. Berserk, which is not a really well-known game or anime series because it kind of died off a long time ago, but recently they brought it back, so that's kind of cool. I just heard about that, but I don't know. I haven't really. I mean, when I think of Berserk, I think of like nothing. It's just kind of an anime that a lot of people can forget about because it died off a long time ago, and they're just bringing it back in the few recent years. But that game was definitely not a game for kids. Or at least the TV show wasn't. But I watched the TV show and I played the game. And, yeah. There's another game, I think it was for the Dreamcast, which was also on the Super Nintendo. It was Clock Tower. And they're both very different games on the separate consoles. But I think I remember playing Clock Tower a little bit on maybe an emulator or something. Quite a cool game, pretty creepy too. But yeah, this like, dude, just playing these old games bring back so many fucking memories, dude. Like, and there's so much like content that you can find in like the emulators that you can't find in Nintendo 64. There's also content that seems to like not work on the emulators that you can find in like the 64. Like for example, beta worlds. You can't really get to beta worlds in the Nintendo 64 by yourself. You kind of need like different devices to get to those beta worlds to see where the developers were. But in an emulator, you can just click a button. Fuck, dude, how are you using a shield? Oh, I see what's going on. There we go. And other things like cut content, dude. You can find so much cut content in these old games that are actually pretty creepy to look at, but they're so interesting, dude. Like, Majora's Mask had a shit ton of cut content. This game had a lot of cut content as well. And, yeah, dude. A lot of this game, I'm like, reminiscing, and it's like, I just kind of remember where shit is, you know? Like, I played it so much that how many years has it been, dude? I'm gonna say the last time I played Ocarina of Time on this version from the Nintendo 64 or an emulator was probably like 9 or 10 years ago. And I just remember where everything is. It's like, I think the slingshot's right here. Yep. There's just, it's so cool to go back and play these games, dude. Like, the memories. I know a lot of people probably know what I'm talking about if they played these games. There's also a lot of people that didn't play these games when they were kids. They had like PlayStation 2 and stuff like that, and I didn't get the PlayStation 2 till like I was 9 or 10, maybe even 11. And I didn't really think the PlayStation 2 was all that cool until I played games like the reverse mechanics. I didn't think it was that cool until there was games like Grand Theft Auto and like Metal Gear, and that's how I got introduced to these newer games, I want to call them, because now it's like I don't really play that many Nintendo games, because it's like Nintendo kind of fucking sucks at their shit now. Like recently they brought the Nintendo Switch and 3DS and Wii U, and I got the 3DS. I don't have the Wii U or the Nintendo Switch, but I can already tell that 3DS and the Wii U are pretty much dead. There's not a lot of people who go back and play on them, and there's not a lot of like they're mostly single player games, which in this day and age you don't really want to play single player games. At least a lot of people don't. I personally like playing whatever. Like if it's got multiplayer, that's an awesome plus to the game, like Call of Duty and Battlefield and all that. But games like The Walking Dead from Telltale, there's no multiplayer for those, and they're still great games. And I don't know, just going back and like looking at all this shit before like multiplayer was popular, before like a lot of these, like this is the fucking old school of shit, dude. Like this is where a lot of things were brought up. Like what did Zelda bring to the table? Zelda brought like, let me see here. I feel like Zelda kind of helped out Morrowind, like not Morrowind, Elder Scrolls series, because like the Elder Scrolls series, I started on Morrowind. I didn't start on like these other old games that were like 2D. I mostly played these 3D games. And yeah, that's what it was. I started out, I think Zelda, like the Nintendo 64 like era, that was my first oh shit, that was the game. I forgot this fucker. Alright, I might as well kill him. But yeah, the Nintendo 64 was probably the first console I started playing video games on, and all there was for that was, am I hitting this fucker? I'm not. I'm just gonna aim. But yeah, for the Nintendo 64 I had, Jesus man, come on now. Why is it not hitting? There we go. For the Nintendo 64 I played games, obviously, like Mario 64, I played that so much. I played this game so much. Majora's Mask, played it so much. Resident Evil 2, I played that game a shit ton. Then the PlayStation 2 came out, and I didn't get that till, like, I got the PlayStation 2 around when PlayStation 3 came out, and a lot of people didn't really care about PlayStation 2 anymore. I thought PlayStation 2 was awesome. Like, the graphics on there were awesome at the time. And like, it's just so cool to go back and look at these old games and how games now like build off of this, and they improve the graphics so much, they improve so much shit, dude. It's like, it's just awesome to go back and see all this like take place, and how games these days just, they build so much off of this old stuff, and it's like they improve so much. Like, for example, lag spikes and FPS drops, which I keep fucking getting like every 5 seconds. But yeah, back in the day, recording games weren't really popular. Like, I remember watching YouTube videos, and I would just be like, how do they do that? How do they record their games? And then, like, I remember I used to make walkthroughs for myself, and I wouldn't type them up. I would actually, like, as a kid, I'd write them in, and I'd write these little pictures of what to do and shit, and it was actually pretty fucking dope. And I remember just recently finding some. It's probably why I want to play this game now. Is like I actually found this old book, or I don't really want to call it a book. It's not a book, but this like shittily made walkthrough that I made by myself out of pencil and printer paper, and I don't know, it's just cute going back and looking at the shit I made when I was a kid. Really brought back some memories, and then, I don't know, it just kind of makes me want to go back and play these games, so that's what I'm gonna do. But yeah, I used to, I would record videos on Microsoft, I think it was called Microsoft OneNote, and there was an option in there to use a webcam, and I used my parents' laptop, and I would record these webcam videos of how to get through things, and then I'd also like record these funny videos, and it was cool, because I didn't have a YouTube account, I didn't know how to set one up, but at the time, my parents really didn't like me going on YouTube, because back then, even now, but like back then there was like no restrictions on YouTube. You could upload whatever the fuck you wanted. It was almost like, I don't want to say it was like LiveLeak, but you could like upload a shit ton of stuff that you probably couldn't upload and get away with now. But I don't care, dude. I know how to play this fucking game. But yeah, I'd record on like OneNote because I didn't have a YouTube account and all that. But like I was saying, my parents didn't like me going on YouTube because there was a lot of things like YouTube poops. Now, those are dead now, but I remember watching those as a kid a lot, and a lot of them are probably not appropriate for kids to be watching, but I would watch them, and then like I remember one time I watched an animation from like Newgrounds, but it was uploaded on YouTube, and my parents found out because they go through search history and they'd watch it, and I remember I was actually kind of scared because they said fucking it, and I remember going to my mom crying because I thought I was going to get in so much trouble because I watched a video with a swear word in it. And at the time, I wasn't allowed to go on YouTube without having someone around with me. Probably because they didn't want me to see some nasty shit, which there's a lot of nasty shit on old YouTube. But, yeah. I remember I was almost in tears telling my mom, and then she told my dad, and then my dad was like, oh, I don't really care because you didn't make the video, just no going on YouTube without our having us around. And I was like, yeah, okay. But these YouTube videos, they would have like these Zelda games and glitches and stuff, and I was just like surprised on how they made these games. Like, anyways, the point I was trying to get at was that in these days, you can hop on your PlayStation or your Xbox, and they support recording so much. You can have live streams, for fuck's sake, by clicking a share button. That's pretty cool, if you think about it. Because back then, like in these days, there's no such... You couldn't even imagine of setting a recording thing up. But now, like as a kid, it was so, like, out of this world to be able to support something, but now you have 11-year-olds starting their own like YouTube channels, live stream channels, and shit like that. You got fuckers like Jacob Sartorius singing, and it's like, I don't know what the hell's going on, But I know back in the day that shit was unheard of. And it's just amazing how shit has changed so much. And I'm actually kind of glad to be born in 99 because, yeah, sure, I'm not a 90s kid, whatever the fuck you want to say, I don't give a shit. That's a whole different topic, but I was born in an era where this game and, like, this culture was still around. You know what I mean? Like, it wasn't as prevalent as it was in, like, the 90s, but it was on its way out. And I got to experience it before it went out. And that's pretty cool. And in 2002, I'm gonna go with 2000, I think it was. 2000s is where, like, we started getting shit like Daft Punk and, like, pop music became more popular than, like, grunge music. And, well, pop music was still pretty popular, but it was like, just yeah. Anyways, in 2000s, that's when, like I was saying, like Daft Punk and like Eminem and all that shit started becoming a thing more. That's just like I'm not gonna say, well, I am gonna say I was born in like two different types of generations. Even though I didn't get to fully experience one of them, I got to taste what it would have been like if I was born a little bit earlier. Oh, I think I missed bombs. Oh yeah. I see what I need to do. I gotta go back there. But yeah, it's just nice, dude. Like, I get to experience what the 90s was for a little bit. Then I got to experience like 2000 to 2010, and now I'm like experiencing like the new shit. And whether or not you like the new shit or not, I like both of them. Like, there's pros and cons for every generation, but it's just awesome that I don't know. I'm trying to find the words to explain it. It's kind of hard to, but yeah, dude, like, I don't feel that old until I go back and play games like this, and it's like, shit, I feel like I've been old, or I feel like I've been alive for a long fucking time, even though I really haven't. I'm not that old, but yeah, it's just so cool. See all this shit. Oh, this thing. Nah, I remember this stupid code. I'm obviously doing it wrong. I know I'm doing it wrong. I think it's middle, right, left. Middle. Oh shit, I'm gonna die here. Middle, right, and then left. I'm pretty sure that's what it is. I can't even tell how long I've been recording either, because I got this on full screen. But I don't know, dude. Like, it's just, I know there's some people out there that don't know what I'm talking about, but I know that there's probably a lot of people out there that also know what the fuck I'm talking about. And it's just, it's amazing, dude. It's amazing to go back and see and experience what I used to as a little kid. And, you know, I really enjoy it. And, like, a game like this as a kid was amazing, dude. Like, you can say all you want, these graphics are shit now, yeah, sure, but back then, dude, holy fuck, this was amazing. polygons, 3D. It was like just starting to come in, and it was amazing. Yeah, I got I know I keep talking about this. I probably get annoying, but it's just I love going back to the roots of what started to become this generation that is now. Like, we have games like the 3DS, even though I don't like it anymore, and it's not really, like, nobody really is like, oh, did you hear about that 3DS game? Like, yeah, nobody really says that. But if you would have given me a 3DS in this time, like back when I used to first start playing these Zelda games on the Nintendo 64, that shit would have blown my mind. And the games that are on the PS4 and Xbox and PC, I just would have been like, holy shit. And it's like, some people take this shit for granted. I'm not trying to say that I don't, because I do, but there's a reason why a lot of people don't like the games nowadays. Is because they become, like, sure, they're amazing, but it's just so, like, some of them are fucking frauds, dude. Like, No Man's Land, yeah, it's an amazing game. It looks so awesome, but it could have been so much more. And like Metal Gear Ground Zeroes, you would have given that to me as a kid, I would have enjoyed the shit out of it, because I wouldn't have cared that it wasn't that long of a game. I just would have loved everything about it, because it would have looked so amazing and it was so cool and all that. Ground Zeroes, though, was not worth $60. And I know I'm going back, like, Ground Zeroes is not that important anymore. Shit, Metal Gear Solid 5 is pretty much dead at this point, but Ground Zeroes was like, when I played that the first time, I was like, you know, this game's pretty cool and all that. And then I hear, like, I bought it after the whole, like, Angry Joe and that type of shit came out, where it's like, hey, this fucking game's stealing your money because it's such a short ass game. It shouldn't even cost $60. I got it after it was like $25. I was like, why is it only $25? I know it's only been out for a little bit. And I was like, whatever, I want to play it. I played it and I was like, oh, that's why it's $25. The game's not even that long. It's pretty much just like a side game while Phantom Pain was being made. But yeah, like, we take it for granted how fucking good games like that are. Even though in these days the term of good, it's a good game, but there's so many bad things about it. But back then, like, you could pass that off to somebody and they'd be amazed to play a copy of something like that. And it's just and I'm not trying to say games like Ground Zeroes are amazing, because it's not. It's fucking, like, I'm glad people are pissed off about games like that, because then they fight for, like, better games, which without these people, maybe the games from this era would still be prevalent in the era it is now. Like, without these people complaining about the games and textures and graphics and gameplay and all that shit, FPS drops and all that, we wouldn't have games like Battlefield, dude. We would have games like, we would still have, like, PlayStation 1 and 2 type games, like, you know what I mean? People wouldn't want to improve because they're like, well, if it's not broke, don't fucking fix the game. But yeah, there's actually, like, I don't want to say this game, like, this game to me is amazing, but there's also a lot of things in this game that are not good. Like, I think somebody did a review, like, I think it was Ego Raptor, actually. Yeah, it was Eagle Raptor. This game is amazing for people the first time. But you go back, give this game to somebody who has never played it these days, and they'll call this game garbage. Because it doesn't age necessarily well. The graphics aren't good for this time. The gameplay, it's there. It's not really that great. But I know there's some other things like convenience. This game is not that convenient. Like these cutscenes, we've already went through a shit ton of cutscenes, and this isn't even the start of it yet. Look at how long these cutscenes are. They don't need to be that long. I don't need to see it pan up to that jewel. I don't need to see Link holding it for that long. I don't need treasure chests to take 10 seconds to open. In these newer games, they don't take that long. They know that people have lives. They got jobs, they got shit to do. Right? So they make the game convenient while also interesting. And games like this, they're interesting, but they're not really convenient. Like, I'm not gonna lie, this game is really long, but I'm pretty sure it wouldn't be half as long as it is without cutscenes. Also, this brings me to like other games, like Metal Gear, dude. Like old Metal Gear games, there's like I just got done playing Metal Gear Solid 2 a few weeks back, and obviously in those older Metal Gear games, their cutscenes are forever, dude. Like Metal Gear 2, one of the ending cutscenes, well, I don't want to say ending, but like close to the ending cutscenes, it's about 40 minutes. It's around that 40-minute mark if you watch the whole, every single cutscene that's in there. And it's 45-ish minutes, or 40, I'll just say 40, because I don't know the exact time. It's like 40-ish minutes before you get to play the game again. Before you take control of your character. And obviously, like, as a kid, I could play that all the time. Like, I don't really care because I didn't have shit to do. I was a kid. But it was not a convenient game because if you wanted to know the backstory and the plot of everything, you'd have to sit through all these cutscenes. Granted, you could skip them, unlike, which is a feature that was added, which is kind of cool because, like I said, convenience in video games, this game's not convenient. You can't skip these cutscenes. You just gotta keep mashing these buttons because you don't care about what they're saying. You already know. Give me the Ocarina already. I already know. I get it. You can't skip these older cutscenes. I think you could in some games, like Conker's Bad Fur Day allowed you to skip some cutscenes, but in order to skip those cutscenes, you would have to play the game once and beat it already. Yeah, I think that's what it was. And you couldn't really skip that many cutscenes in these type of games. Nowadays, dude, if you can't skip a cutscene, people will flip shit. Especially if the cutscene's more than like 5 minutes. But obviously in Metal Gear games, they changed their aspect in like, I think Metal Gear Solid 4 didn't have that long cutscenes. I mean, it had some longer cutscenes, but it wasn't that long, and you could skip them. Metal Gear Solid 5, they really tried to make it so their cutscenes weren't as long as they used to be. I don't think there's a cutscene in there that's longer than 30 minutes. They try to make it really short. Most of their cutscenes only last about 3 or 4 minutes, and you get the whole idea, and you can skip them. So yeah. It's just cool to see how much games have changed and how much everything has changed. Like, there's so much shit that's changed, dude. Styles and shit. But they're also, like, a lot of them are coming back. Like, for example, this, I don't really want to talk to this guy. But yeah, like, some of them are coming back. Like I said, some styles are coming back. Some fucking, like this game, dude. Like, this game, like, these Nintendo games are coming back. Son of a bitch, dude. I keep forgetting that. Yes, I got all of it. Damn owl. But yeah, like, this game is, like, these Nintendo games are coming back. Zelda is coming back. Nintendo is coming back. They're remaking their games. They're, hold on. I can, yeah, there we go. I love this. you can see that like these things are coming back. They're like coming back into the culture that didn't really want them back, but they're back and they're like remastered. They got better graphics, they got better gameplay, they got new games. Like, just get over there before the time gets down to 0. Get away from me, owl. I don't want to deal with your shit today. If I could just make it over there. Come on. Come on, it's gonna be nighttime soon. I don't want that bridge to go up. Ha! That's how it's done right there. That's how it's done. I'm not waiting for no bridge. But yeah, I don't know, it's just... Oh, I've been playing this game for a little while, haven't I? Well, actually, if it's gonna keep lagging, I might as well stop it here. We'll see. We'll see. Yeah, okay, I'm just gonna stop the game here, guys, because it's been a while, and I don't think my computer's really like all this disk space that's getting written on. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching. I will be making more videos. Sorry for talking so much, but hey, I gotta talk because otherwise I'm so distracted by the FPS drops. But yeah, dude, this game's pretty cool. I like going back and experiencing these older games, and it's just fun to go back and replay them. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. If you like, leave a like. If you dislike, leave a dislike. Subscribe for more content. There's a shit ton more content on my channel. You can go watch that. Subscribe if you want to see more content from this. And I'll see you guys on the next video.